Hello, Katina. Are you ready to be interviewed?
I think so.
Could you tell the people of Facebook and YouTube your name?
Hi, I'm Katina
Smith. Yes. Katina, tell us something about yourself and how you came to live in New Orleans.
Well, I was born here, so that helped. I was born here. I grew up here. I played ball. I went to school, went to the library, all those things here.
So you're local. You're a local New Orleans.
Born and bred, local, that's right.
So the next question is, why did you join the New Orleans Coven?
Honestly, I was at a point in my life where I was looking for change, and I felt the Spirit was directing me. And I'm saying Spirit in a general manner so that everybody can understand. We would say ain't so far for the gosh, you know. So this is the Spirit. I felt led by the Spirit, and not a lot of people I find. Maybe I'm a bit haphazard, but I tend to go with my gut in a lot of choices, especially spiritual choices, because I don't believe it would steer me wrong. I believe that the divine speak to us through our subconscious mind.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Got your wine there. What was your magical background before you joined?
I joined Coven-wise or period?
Period.
Do you know when I started studying?
Yeah. What was your magical background before you joined the New Orleans?
Well, actually, I was born and raised Catholic. I was confirmed the whole 9 yards. But I can tell you that I always wanted to serve on a higher level, and perhaps felt that was my job. That sounds probably really egotistical, but I always felt like it was my duty to serve something higher. I remember when I was maybe I had pigtails, little, and I asked my mom, I remember telling her I wanted to be a priest, and she said I couldn't be a priest. And I said, why? And she says, well, because priests are supposed to be Jesus-like. And I'm like, Jesus-like? I said, you mean a penis? Is it because I don't have a penis? And, well, she said, yes. So that told me pretty much all I needed to know, plus the fact that, there was lots of things that I really liked in the Catholic Church. Some things that are the same in ritual, because of course they got their stuff from us. But anyway, so, all the incense, the ceremony, the ritual, I really enjoyed very much. But I never could get on that level with Jesus. I tried to be a good Christian. I tried to get, I never felt a connection or even felt like anyone was listening if I spoke to Mary. Always. The angels, always. But there was never anything between myself and Jesus. So I figured, the very meaning of Christian is a follower of Christ, and I wasn't following Christ, so there had to be something else for me. So when I was about 11, I got a grown-up library card because I read all the kids' books. And so they gave me a grown-up library card, and my parents signed. So the first thing I got, first I took a whole bunch of photocopies out of The Joy of Sex. Then I went and I got the Satanic Bible, Diary of a Witch by Sybil Leek. And it was like 2 or 3 other witchcraft books. And I went home and I thought my mom was gonna have a stroke. She said I was bringing demons into the house. There were already demons in the house though. And then that started me on the path. I knew what I want. I knew where I belonged. I just didn't know how to get there. So I just waited, and eventually it showed up in my life. I started studying with the religious order of witchcraft and OO-ish. And right after Katrina, I became high priestess of the group and was until recently.
What does being Alexandrian mean to you?
It means that I'm Alexandrian. That's an actual religion, I'm not Catholic, I'm Alexandrian. It's the same thing, only it's a different name. Not the same religion, so to say, but it's still a religion. A lot of people try to say, well, how can this be a religion? Blah, 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 blah. First of all, if we conduct ourselves as priests and priestesses, then we will be treated like priests and priestesses of any other faith. Second of all, it is a religion. We just don't have foolish dogma. And I think that has a lot to say. Look at all your other religions, too. They have their faults, nothing's perfect. But this is the religion that has made the most sense to me. I knew that if I was leaving the order, which was a big deal to me, that it had to be for something worth something. worth something to me. And I had been knowing you a while, and I got to see the craft through you and through other people, you know, just visiting, and I felt the draw, you know, that draw that I just let drag me wherever. So I trusted that was the right choice.
Can you share with us a personal magical success story?
I'm trying to think of an appropriate one. I will tell you, a friend of mine had a fatal illness. Well, she still does, but it's one that doesn't go away. And with someone that I was good friends with since probably 17, 18. And it was breaking my heart apart. She had to have, like, she had either 2 heart attacks and a stroke or 2 strokes and a heart attack. The lupus was really bad. And she even had to have an organ replaced. I did some work for her, and she's been in remission since forever now. I'm not saying that's all me. I'm saying, you know, hey, did a little cooking to help.
Who are your top 3 goddesses and why?
Isis, because she is mother of all mothers and the queen of magic. Lilith, I look to Lilith when I feel like I need strength or some warriorness, you know, like some kick ass. I look to Lilith when I feel like I need that strength, or when I've been wronged by, like, one of my kids' fathers or something, you know, then Lilith is cool to talk to about those things. But I think that Mayette keeps me grounded. Because of everything that she represents. Cosmic law, balance, justice, all these things that are so important, that should be central to anyone in the craft, in any path, or any whatever they want to call themselves. You need to have something to keep you grounded, and some kind of ideal or whatever. Like the Baphomet, everybody thinks this is an ideal. It's an ideal. It's something to strive for, to be. And Mayette keeps me grounded because I always look at her and think, well, is this within cosmic law? Is this something I should be doing? Or is this something... It's kind of like my what would Jesus do, but I go, what would Mayette do? Sometimes I listen, mostly.
Who is your favorite witchcraft elder and why?
This is a hard question for me, and you know why it's a hard question for me. My background is mainly in ceremonial magic, so I still gravitate mostly towards magicians and that way. But I have to say, Maxine or Val. Maxine I have never met, but I've heard plenty of, and I know her work, and I love Val. She was great. She is great.
She's still just a bit young to be an elder, though, isn't she?
But she still
has blush on the cheek.
Oh, definitely.
I'm kissing up here.
I know. I'll let you. And she knows I'm not saying nothing. Miss Val, you know I'm not saying nothing crazy. But
Bless the bee.
Bless the bee.
What advice would you give a person just beginning to explore traditional craft?
I would tell them to arm. It never hurts to arm yourself with information. I feel like information is power. If you take that knowledge and you apply it properly, it can also be wisdom. I would say that they would need to
get all that information on Instagram, shouldn't they?
No.
Or Facebook.
Don't freaking scroll websites. Don't go to, controversialblah.com. Do not go to Wikipedia. Look in the books, whether your group has a book of shadows, and if they don't, you may want to ask a question about that. Look, and you'll know. Ask questions. The people you're talking to that you want to be in their group, you have every right in the world to ask them questions. They're not just interviewing you. You have to interview them too. If it's not a, what do they call it, synonymous relationship where it's give and take on both ends, then it's not effective, is it? Not for anyone. So I think that the best thing would, don't look before you leap. At least know what you're leaping into first.
In regards to the craft, describe a pet peeve of yours.
I don't like it when people are pouty, and when they throw their nasty vibes on other people. You should not do that in circle. You should not come to circle if you don't have the ability to leave your crap at the door before you walk in. And that goes to me too, all the time. And also, I think that attitudes are contagious. Is yours worth catching?
Many members of the New Orleans Coven are very public about the craft. Do you think this is necessary these days, or should witches be more secretive and private?
That's a double-edged sword for me, actually. I don't feel like we should be. How do I put it? I don't want to be like a Christian out there and abrasive, or like a Jehovah's Witness. Not called. Have you heard of the goddess? Let me introduce you to the goddess. Show you the goddess. I think that I forgot what the question was because I really was having fun with that.
Many members of the New Orleans Coven are very public about the craft.
Oh.
Do you think it is necessary these days, or should witches be more secretive and private?
I think it's important for a few people to be out there that people can recognize, because if not, how can you vouch or how can you find out if somebody is who they say they are, if they're a teacher with good references? I mean, that's something you want to know. I mean, I wouldn't just go to someone like, I knew where you came from, etc., when I went to study with you. I probably wouldn't have studied with anyone else. But that's only because I knew you on that level and had that level of trust with you. And I think that, I believe, like I said before, I believe that our God conscious, that the divine speaks with us through our subconscious mind, which comes through our gut, our dreams, and everything else. So there's no way for you not to know if it's right. But you also know if it's wrong. You need to be able to check that feeling.
Do you have any parting words for the people of Facebook or YouTube?
Safe travels.
Good journey. All right. Thank you for being interviewed, Katina. Katina, thank you for being interviewed, and blessed be.
Blessed be.